the guy's already told us, he says, you know, we're gonna do this. And then he decides, no, we'll let everybody out to get real close. So I've got like 30 feet of cable because I'm wearing my, trying to go drag cabling and close those. Well, that's what was there. You know, some people right near the opening get it full out. Like, you know,
equipment is precarious.
When they drove up passing?
Well, we were on the death watch and stuff. That was where I was.
I got one for you. I was told by Dave Conrad, who's the sports guy at HAF, said, Pete, we need to go. So we drive down to Old Louisville, get out of the house, get on the drive, go into R.B. Sloan's house at 4th and Magnolia at that time. Walk in, he's getting ready to do a marriage, do a wedding. Who's wedding between? Ali and Lonnie.
That would give me more time to assemble that.
And Conrad says, we can't shoot. Couldn't shoot 20. I'm like, what do you mean we can't shoot 20? We tried to talk to him afterwards. It's so long ago. But I mean, I said, that's what it is. Unbelievably, everything you could ever imagine. And we couldn't shoot. Yeah.
Look like package.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it over at Cape Fleet.
Here he comes. No, maybe not. Just a phone call.
I'll give you my check in a second. Yes,
once they supposedly do it, they go,
Yeah, and then go,
yeah, maybe not.
go figure out how to major in accounting or something.
Yeah, we always, when they came over, interns come over, somebody shouts, so what's your backup? They look at you like, okay, then. Yeah, I said, okay, what's your backup? What do you mean? Yes, after this first month or two, you'd be frustrated. It's like,
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, so just when you bring your stuff in, just walk around this door, tell the doors to be open, and just bring your stuff in and hook up with these guys. You're welcome. Hello. Good, how's it going? Yes.
that's true. Yeah, I get stuck. You get a car, so you got these one more.
Some of them.
That's all that phone crap. Jesus. Really? Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's it. Yep.
You're perfect. You're tired of stories.
Yep.
But, you know, when you're standing close to our station,
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yep. That's what I say. I said, as long as they got these, okay, why I'm here. Once they get rid of them, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
well, it's one of those things, we've always compared to,
Mm-hmm.
like, there is, well, it's kind of the last situation. KTV goes on strike.
Pretty much.
And
Yep,
humanities.
and I think that's what Bush is still doing with that. You know, I know that HAS still has it. Still, I don't. Yeah. Not till he asked him, they tell him, he told me 6 or 8 months ago that they were trying to get him like a couple of years down the road. I said, "Well, you're fine, we're not telling him I'm leaving."
Especially
So,
when Mike pushes up the six a little bit.
oh yeah. Oh, yeah, that was my first year. Well, we're supposed to start with Easter. I had a TK 76, and I had a 50 pound or 40 pound side deck, Sony deck that you could record. Now, when they came out with the 50s, they used 50s. It only recorded, you couldn't back up the tape, so it only went through. And that was lighter. But the TK 76, and you had to wear belts. Yes. You wear belts? Yes. Yeah. So you had a light belt. It was, the batteries were that big, and it was round, and it had a big light head. And then you had one camera belt. Some people wore two that were littler belts, only about that big, went around you, and the cable ran up. And of course, you had the cable running off of that to your. So you're packing about 80 pounds of gear. Yeah. Exactly. See? And the other.
No, you can actually move it over closer. There you go.
They said we go. This other guy shows us. So the plane comes in, turns around, the jet's good. My tripod wires. Camera never hit the ground. My buddy, who's at 25, this camera crashes and breaks. And the guy who was there took it off. Another person came up to him, dude, and the patch just went off on him. And showed it off. And the guy said, Frank, you're gonna be able to do that, do this. But, don't ever. So I've never really done that.
Sorry, everybody. It's been absolutely insane.
Give me 1 second, please.
I hate it too because I don't want to read, but I want to try to paraphrase a few things. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
We got a call last night about 20 minutes before 8 and said, let's get the pickets cleared. So it's been a whirlwind ever since. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all want to open up questions or anything?
Why don't you give a statement, then we'll do after that.
All right, good. All right, so I'd just like to thank everyone for being here today in order to share a little bit of information about the process. Everything up till now has been strategic. This has been really a 1.5 year long process to get our memberships, wants, wishes, needs in a transparent effort to Ford Motor Company, and then get our leadership behind and get all of our units on one same sheet of music. With that being said, you know, going through everything, friends, family members, everybody supported all of our workforce. This has been about family, it's been about future, and it's been about community. Record profits, as we've heard, have been mean record contracts. This is a life-changing agreement, and I was just explaining to some of my family members that this is an agreement that will be historical. The gains in this agreement in the 2023 contract are worth more than the gains in the past 4 contracts alone. As you know, you've been out on the picket line, you've seen our members. Our members have fought hard. They have worked diligently to keep their solidarity together. We went on strike here at the Kentucky Truck Plant, which I think was a major strategic move. We want to respect and thank everyone who supported us, from all of the big 3, specifically our Michigan Assembly plant employees are on our minds the most because they've been out the longest. They've endured the more of the suffering. We've got people that have foreclosures. We have people that have been evicted. We want to be mindful of the trials and tribulations that they're going through and the losses they've had, but we're also doing what we can to help those brothers and sisters, to include ours. And what does that mean? That means each and every day we try to put one foot forward, because sometimes they say the tail, right, does not come around, you know, and that's what we're dealing with now. So we were focused last night on closing the picket lines, getting everyone off the picket lines, get the plant kind of back in working order. Our membership's been notified, should be notified by the company. The company's already notified those members who are first affected: stamping facility, MP&L, logistics, material handling, and skilled trades. Skilled trades are vital, right? Because we got those areas that we've got to ramp back up: phosphate, e-coat tanks, wastewater systems, you know, sealer lines that could be left in the lines that are bad sealer. We got to make sure, 1, that we got a safe working environment. 2, we got to make sure that we can build quality units. So right now, they're doing all those plant services and trying to get everything up and running. Members will be notified in different segments of when to return back to work. I know right now I can't give you a date. I know I've heard that the plant's looking at Saturday production, but if I tell you Saturday production, it could be Friday evening production. I just don't know. Right now, they're going through all their due diligence, checking the boxes, going through that process to get the plant ready. I'm sure we'll have incremental updates till now. The UAW side of the house, we're working on letting our membership know that they're getting their strike pay, who's going to get, you know, partial strike pay for the last week, how it's going to work. The ones that want to go in and work, they're also asking for volunteers. They'll also be able to go in and work, and it won't affect their strike pay because they're trying to get the plant ready, up and running. And then one of the things, too, that I wanted to talk about was some of the things coming up and what we're doing for our members. We're working really hard to work with the Dare to Care Food Bank. They've worked awesome with us. We got members that are hurting. Again, this is about our future. We talked about those folks that were sleeping in their car in the assembly plant, right, and going to work because they were trying to work 2 jobs or had issues with families. We got people being evicted from homes. We're trying to help people out. So there's a lot of things out there that we have to deal with, but we're just trying to be mindful of that process. And part of that is make sure we're getting food banks lined up. We're working on a diaper drive currently. We're going to work on a coat drive for kids and then adults here in a couple of 2 or 3 weeks as it's getting colder to try to help them out. We're trying to also recognize family. You know, we got a process that we deal every year, and it's called Halloween at the plant, trunk or treat. And we've got a big event scheduled. We canceled our Halloween dance this Saturday night. Didn't feel it'd be appropriate. It scared the life out of cancer. It's a benefit, so we're just going to ask all those folks to come in on Saturday, and we're asking our families to come in and bring their children. So we got a big event for them this Saturday, 12 to 4 at LAP Hall. So although we're going through all this, we got to do our normal activities and still let our families know that we're going to continue on with that. So I know I've shared a little bit of information, not a lot. We got to work on going to Detroit this weekend, right? We'll be traveling to Detroit this weekend to have a meeting on Sunday at 1 o'clock to go over the agreement. Then we'll have a meeting scheduled next week with our Region 8 offices where we'll break it down in smaller groups. So those in Region 8 will sit down to the Region 8 office or wherever they determine that. And then we'll bring that back for meetings, informational town hall meetings. More than likely, we'll have them right here on this gym floor. And we'll do multiple days, multiple sessions to be able to break down and explain some of those contract contract highlights. There are no lowlights. There's no concessionary agreement. And then take questions. And there are a lot of questions coming in. There's a lot of answers that we just can't answer right now. Other than specifics, we know the strike's over, and we're trying to get through that process alone. So we'll have those, and then hopefully we'll focus on, as long as the dates work out. Right now we're having a hard time finding a venue, so we're working on getting a venue for November the 12th for a ratification overall vote, Local 862 for a national language. And there'll be also all of the National Forward Department there to explain all of the language and the questions thereof. So we'll have front door to back door, no question will be unanswered. You'll be able to get a full understanding of your question, and then you'll also be able to vote on the contract. And that'll be an all-day process. It'll probably start somewhere around 8, 9 in the morning and run until 8 or 9 at night. And once they open the polls, people can come in and vote all day long. So it's kind of a little overall process of what's going on. So if you got any questions, it'd be great.
So just to confirm, November 12th is the date that members will be able to vote to ratify?
As of right now, that is our tentative plan for November 12th. Dates could change. Again, right now we're having a hard time finding the venue, so the venue could change things up.
Todd, I know the details are not fully out yet, but there's certainly some highlights out there. Mm-hmm. Based on what you have seen, would you expect the membership to support this contract?
So, some of the highlights you spoke about was Ford workers will receive more in general wage increase and percentage disagreement alone they did in 22 years since 2001. Here's another one. At ratification, Ford workers will immediately receive general wage increase that's almost equal to all wages increases since 2007. Top rate is figured out, estimated with COLA to increase around 33% over the life of the agreement, the contract. And our starting increase will be approximately 67% if you look at the increase in the timetable of what it is. So we've got some other gains at Sterling and Rawsonville where they had larger increases, right? Entry-level person coming in day one could experience basically a 150% increase if you look at it relative to them, right? So again, I think the members, it's up to them to decide. I think we've done the best job I've seen in my whole career, and that's not to take away anything from any prior leadership, but Chuck Browning has been disciplined, and we have worked with the detail, for the membership. I was involved with the Constitution, both the regular Constitution and the collective bargaining session. We knew it front, back, side to side, and every morsel of detail that we could include and give overall understanding to the membership, we did. That's one thing I do know, that the membership should have a very good understanding of the process and have, faith in the process and the leadership thereof that got us there. And it's been total transparency through and through. So I believe that membership will put together our efforts of our strikes, see how long our picket lines and those plants have been affected, see how long we've been out, see the gains that's come in, see those last best final offer to come back with more when they said they didn't have anything else to give, using our strategy and our strike leverage, and look at the agreement that's before them. I know for a fact in my 29 years, I personally feel that this is 4 to 4.5 times any contract that I've ever experienced in my life. The contract, the last greatest contract I think we had was when we got people PC computers, we got the internet, the old dial-up, we got the Family Service and Learning Center across the street, which doesn't exist anymore. We had child care, daycare services. So, but when you look at the costing of the agreement, it's 4 to 4.5 times the last agreement that we had. So there's a lot on the table. There's a lot of information for our members to digest, but I believe they'll make the best informed decision. Everybody won't get everything that they wanted. Everybody won't get everything they wish for. Everybody will get everything that they needed to get back what we lost, with some other things that they would want to have more. So, but I think it's a great contract to present to the membership in order for them to make the best decision for them and their families. So I feel confident in everything that we've done up till now, through and through. No, it's a long answer, but it is what it is. I want to be honest.
That November 12th date, is that just for people at KCP to come and vote, or are other board plans going to vote that?
Great question. So that vote will be for our entire membership. Kentucky Truck Plant, Louisville Assembly Plant, both plants will be able to go and vote on the national agreement. They'll have the explanations. The town halls will probably be separate, so you'll have leadership at Louisville Assembly Plant giving their town hall meetings and their understanding of the contract. We'll do it over here at the Kentucky Truck Plant, but we'll come together for a final overall explanation of the agreement and then vote the same day together. But it's only the Ford production workers, salary workers, and nurses and skilled trades. Nobody else will be voting.
In person, right? Not by mail.
It will be an in-person vote.
And just to be clear, you said workers can return as soon as tomorrow?
So we have workers already coming into the plant now on a voluntary basis. They're not being forced in yet. They've asked to come in. There's been some discussion about a 48-hour type of grace period, a buffer. We're still trying to understand some of those parameters. But basically it's saying, hey, Ford Motors going, all hands on deck. Let's get our house in order. Let's make sure it's safe for you to come in and work. We're going to do that with our safety team, our skilled trades teams. Let's work on our team leaders to get our production areas in order and ready for our production members to come in. So once we get everything set up, then I think that's when Ford Motor Company will make a determination on who to bring in and when. I do know for a fact that at the stamping facility that has been running, so it's been an operational area because management has been running it. I know that was key for them to work on getting the stamping folks in there to start pressing out the parts and getting that back to normal. So you'll see kind of segmented in different areas of the plant.
When do you anticipate everyone being back on the job, and when will all the workers start collecting their paychecks again?
So, everything is a week, so we're not 2 weeks, right? We don't get paid, we don't work 2 weeks and then get paid, so everything's weekly. So anything that anybody works this week, right? Pay period ends Sunday, they push the drops on Monday, and we'll receive the checks next Friday or Thursday, depending on your bank. Some banks hit earlier and some banks hit later.
So the people who are already volunteering to go back now, they're not going to get paid for another week.
Right. Just for the lag time and to process the check payroll, and they get it. But they are scheduled to get their strike benefit check, right? So that should be going out this Friday. It could hit early, it could hit late, but we know that those payments got processed on Tuesday because I've verified myself with the International Auditing Department.
So people going back, say, Monday, Tuesday next week, they won't get paid for 2 weeks?
Yeah, so if you return to work, let's just say you're a day shift employee. I'm Monday through Thursday. I return next Monday for my normal work week. Then I'm going to work that week, and I will get paid the following week. So payroll gets processed on Tuesday. We know we get paid on Friday, but some people get paid as early as Thursday, maybe Wednesday. So yeah, what you're saying from today's date, it would be 2 weeks, yes, sir.
Okay.
But we are work 1 week, get paid next week. We're not a bi-weekly system.
So let's assume that the vote is taken and everything is ratified. How long after that before they start collecting the new pay?
So I haven't seen the agreement yet. That's part of the reason that we got to go to Detroit. Right now, I'm shooting from the hip with any bit of knowledge that I have that I can verify, and that's it. But I will get those attention to detail items or the devil in the details. I don't want to say that, but we'll get the finite information when we go up on Sunday and get some of those details. And the thing is, when they negotiate the agreement, your agreement ends. And then once you put together your agreement, you have you go back. You either, you're not concessionary, but you go back to where it started, and then you'll retroactive. So that'll have to be put into play. We'll get retroactive payments on our checks going back, but it's all based upon the contract itself. So if you got that raise, well, then that raise is going to be multiplied time the hours that you would have been able to work, so forth and so on, while the contract was expired. So it's going to be different for different plants. Some were laid off longer than others. Some weren't laid off at all. So it's going to be very, very complex. I know. I feel sorry for those who are working behind the scenes there, whether it be Ford Motor Company or UAW, because it's going to be a very complex situation. Yes.
With the strike benefits ending and some people being on temporary layoffs, will they be able to draw any unemployment until their first checks start to come through when they go back to work?
So right now, there was some agreements that were put together, understandingly so, and those who come in and work, like right now, we've got some individuals that are working. If they're scheduled to get $300 in strike pay and their volunteer to work, they'll also get that as well. It's going to be so different from so many different folks. If I tell you one thing, then I'm going to have 4 different areas of production that's going to tell me, why'd you say that? Because it's not true for us. So it's very complex.
And you said that you all plan on making a trip this weekend to kind of just see this contract. What's going to be your message to some of these members this weekend as you guys head over there? You know, I'm sure some of them, you know, maybe a good bit of them ready to get back to work.
Well, I know they're going to be grateful for us going, because we've had a lot of comments, you know, during the strike. The solidarity has been high. The morale is exceeded what I would ever expect to have going through a strike, first time ever. Didn't have a playbook. A lot of great comments, few complaints, rightfully so. If something's going wrong, we need to know, we need to fix it. But it is, if I was looking at it on a 1 to 10, I feel like we're probably a 9, 9.5, how we handled it, because you can always improve without having a playbook. I think the members' morale and everything is so high. They have that, like I said, gratefulness for us representing them, but they're also going to be eager to understand. So, you know, my comment to them, or my message to them, would be remain in a, I'm really losing words right now. I'm trying to figure out what it would be. We'll be consistent with what they've been doing. Have faith that we're going to bring back information. We've been transparent in everything that we've presented to them. So, you know, just remain steadfast for us to get that info. And we are getting folks calling us, asking us about this, that, and the other already. Well, how are they going to do this? And that will be in the detailed information that they provide for us. But again, historical agreement. You know, the leverage that we had, it was just awesome to see what our power and leverage was able to do. And we're going to have, you know, benefits for us. You know, those profits are going to be shared finally. And we're going to be, it's not made whole, but have somewhat of a feeling of being made whole from all the years that we were told that we would be paid back, or it would return the favor. And it's very honoring and very a good feeling today.
Todd, it seemed that the negotiations took a turn when KTP went out on strike. Can you just talk about what role Louisville and your members played in bringing this deal home?
You know, at the time with Michigan Assembly Plant, I think they were off, 4 weeks? I think they were out 4.5. Chicago was 2, going on 3. You know, we gave a good shot in the arm to Michigan Assembly Plant. Also gave a good shot in the arm to Chicago. Those that were already on strike really thanked us for everything that we did, as we thanked them for all the sacrifices they have made. But as equal as they were appreciative of what we did, you know, and being a part of that, which we didn't decide it, but we hit it, we delivered. We delivered in under 40 minutes once we were told. Our members, I know, speaking to them on the line, really felt honored to support those members. So it was kind of like, I've said it before, iron sharpens iron, and they fed off of one another. Again, Adam Hoback's here today. He's a young worker, been here less than 10 years. You know, he's getting involved. 6 weeks ago, he got put in front of me by one of the team leaders I used to know, and so much leadership has come out of him. And he said, this is what I want to do from here on out. And you see those stories over and over and over. And then those folks are starting to reciprocate with one another going, hey, look, did you help out? Yeah, I was a leader. I saw you helping out over at the hall. So I've already heard, I can't wait to run to be committee person. I can't wait to run for leadership. And for so many years, we have searched to try to find that special sauce, activate that special sauce in a member, because you got people that come to work, people that come to work and volunteer, and they're part of committees. People that come to work, volunteer, are part of committees, and they run for election, right, to be able to serve inside the plant. I hate to have the suffering, but this contract was great for us, our families, our community, and it was even greater for those going back in. I promise you, I wholeheartedly feel when those members go back in that plant, they're going to be more empowered, more engaged, have more solidarity. We're going to get more accomplished, and we're going to hold each other accountable. And I think that is what's going to come out of this. And, you know, my grandfather always told me, leave it better than you found it, son, no matter what. And in that case, I think that we have done that through this process. Yeah, Dave.
Just following up on that question, would you have that agreement if the truck plant had not gone on strike?
Yeah, so definitely. I just want to be mindful and respectful of those other brothers and sisters that were laid off, because they were equally as strong as us together on that leverage bar, because we're pulling on one bar. But yes, I think it was an excellent strategy of Sean Fain, Chuck Browning, and the national negotiators to call upon. Because if you remember, the week before we were called on strike, the Friday before, I believe it was, Arlington, Texas, right, Local 276. They had talked about pulling them in, and that got GM back to the table. And that also splintered off, and went into other negotiations with the big three. And then the next week, here we're called upon, not on a Friday. I got a call on Wednesday thinking that we were going to be going on Friday if we're called upon. He said, no, Todd, it'll be today. Switch gears, you know. So there was another good move. So when you take the 54% of all North American profits and looking at over $220 million a week, we're out 2.5 weeks. You can do the math, right? We've already helped move the needle right there on being able to get negotiations paid for, right? So it was definitely an impact. And then I think that last decision of Sean Fain to talk about those other plants really got Ford Motor Company moving. So I was glad to see them do it. I know our national negotiators, two of them from Louisville, and there's others on the team, and they've all fought hard. So I think the first thing we'll do when we get to Detroit, we'll high-five each other, handshake, give hugs, and then say, let's get down to business, you know, and thank them for their sacrifices, because they've been away from their families for so long. So looking forward to seeing them. But yes, 1,000%. It had a lot to do with putting that extra leverage on that bar.
What's your message to the people of Kentucky, to Ford customers, about why all of this was necessary?
Wow. So sum it up, Todd. You know, if I go to the consumers that buy the product, we're getting the vehicles back to them. We're trying to get them to them as fast as possible. That was one thing that we didn't want to hurt them. The cost in the cars have continued to go up. The consumer's been told, you'll pay for the cost of the agreement. You know, less than a year ago, I ordered a Bronco myself. I went 11, 12 months to get my Bronco, and Ford Motor Company raised the price $13,000. And that was pre any type of negotiations, right? So it's driven by what Ford Motor Company is going to dictate to the customer and what they're going to pay for. So you already have some of those negative type of thought process being put out there in John Q. Public. And I think we've done a good job to explain what the importance is of the auto worker. 9 to 10 workers to every auto worker. There's another 120,000 members in our community. Our wages are lifted up. It's going to lift their wages up. And any job that is relative to our job or ancillary jobs, it's going to also raise them as well. Mom and pop shops, I don't care who it is, vendors, suppliers, they're going to try to organize. And you're going to see organizing across the country more now. I think it's a hotbed right now for organizing. You don't have a voice unless you're in the room. My previous regional director did that to me, and that's why I'm so spread thin. But when you see the workforce and you see the money that they're going to be bringing in, you see the equality they're going to be bringing in, you're going to see that spread out throughout the community. I really want to thank the community for everything that they did to support us. On the wall, we had donors from unions. We had donors from corporations. We had people coming off the street thanking us. We had great support from our governor, from our senator, from our mayor. But we will help keep the economy going, and we're going to raise their standard of living as well, just due to because of what we got. You already see the battery plants talking, they were 21, then they went to 24, and then you talked about their wages being at the high 27s. So you've already seen during negotiations the wages of the battery come up. So as we move up, we'll lift everybody else up, with us. So there'll be changes and different transitions, but overall, everyone's going to benefit. All right.
Thank you.
Cool. Been a long night. I've had about 3 hours sleep, so appreciate y'all. Do the best I can.
And it's Todd Dunn, president of the UAW.
Todd Dunn, president of UAW. Do you have anything else we want to add? Anything else I got cut out?